Before we get into, actually, it's crazy. On the Billboard Hot 100 chart, top 40, there's no rap songs in it for the first time since 1990. And we need to get into that. So let's start with Melissa.
Wait, since when?
Doodle-lang,
You
he's
said
so
1990?
cute. Doodle-lang. Yeah, hey.
Wow, that's almost close to the decade that I'm dressed up as.
Yeah, Pinky Tuscadero.
Yes, I just wanted to address this before we finish the video. The recording of this video is the day before Halloween, and we're doing our company costume contest today. So I'm dressed in my Halloween costume, which is my 80s costume.
You know what's funny? So, I didn't even realize that she was wearing. Not even joking.
Ramiro thought I was just here at work.
I thought, so in my defense, take the glasses off. Okay, and Melissa rarely stands up. Like she only in case of emergency. Like if she has to go to the bathroom. If Pebbles orders breakfast and Melissa goes to get, like she never stands up. So all I'm seeing is the headshot, and she colors her hair weird colors. She wears her hair in different ways consistently. So I was just like, all right, whatever. She's doing like a pink theme today, and then later,
if you see the entire thing, I have leg warmers on. I have a fanny pack.
Yeah, I didn't realize
my earrings. I got lace tights.
And she got mad at me, and I'm like, but why would I think that you're like dressed like anything?
I mean, I understand. Listen, it wasn't my idea to have the company Halloween costume contest on the 30th. So I get it.
Then she's like, you better vote for me. I'm like, no, I need to see the other costumes.
Please vote. No, please vote. Listen, because you know it's going to be somebody in sales or on one of the other radio stations that everyone's going to vote for. We always get the shaft down here.
No, hold on. I think the company's been pretty fair when it comes to. I remember some of the past ones. I don't think they'll do favorites.
I just feel like they vote for their own.
Yeah,
and there's so many of them, and there's only a few of us. That's all.
But if somebody like has like a really cool like topical theme and you could tell they put work into it, that's something that they don't normally dress as, that somebody would confuse them in, I think that they deserve my vote.
You know what?
You think that you
don't ask me to ever vote for you for anything ever again.
You're dressed like Melissa with the volume turned up a little bit.
No, okay.
I mean
Anyways, I would vote for you guys no matter what. I'm just saying. That's loyalty for you.
So if I came in wearing...
If you came in what you wore last year with just that mask with all the holes in it, I would have voted for you.
Really?
And that had zero effort.
What do you mean zero effort? Like if you look at me with that mask on, you're like, he's doing something. I think if somebody, most people, if you dress like this next Thursday, I don't know if many people would pull you aside and say...
If you see my outfit and you think that I am walking around like this on a regular basis... with a fanny pack and freaking leg warmers.
You do want to bring back the 80s, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. Yeah, whenever we talk about a movie, you're like, oh my God, that reminds me, Officer and a Gentleman, 1983.
Ooh, that's a great movie.
You're stuck in that decade anyway.
I am. So let's discuss what we wore.
Yeah.
I'll vote for you.
Thank you, Pebbles.
Yeah.
Now there's a friend.
No hip hop songs, Melissa. No Run DMC. No Curtis Blow. What's going on? No hip hop songs on the Hot 100 Top 40. What were the big hip hop? Okay, so Kendrick Lamar is not going to be on. Isn't on this thing?
That's why it ended, because it fell off on that week.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's the weekly charts.
Yeah, Cardi B. I mean, she just released her album 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Nothing? Nope. What's going on?
You know what it is right now, and I know, Leroy, you have a theory, but pop is really big right now with the Taylor Swift album release. Sabrina Carpenter is still huge. Tate McRae. I mean, there's a lot of really big pop singers right now.
K-pop.
And K-pop,
true.
Yes, those Demon Hunter songs are on the charts right now. So, and then of course the country pop, which is also on the charts right now. So it's
the last time. Before we get into Leroy's theory, the last time, February 2nd, 1990, there was no songs in the top 40. The next week, the song that was number 41 jumped to number 29. Name that one-hit wonder.
1990.
1990.
So one-hit wonder?
One-hit wonder. He's dead.
Oh.
But to this...
Biz Markie.
I already knew. I already know.
Very
Just
good.
a Friend.
Just a Friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that he's dead gave it away, kind of. I
Well,
mean,
there are a lot of
a lot of unfortunate.
well,
yes.
one hit wonder.
Yeah. Biz Markie, Just a Friend. It was number 41, jumped to number 29, and that started a streak that lasted up until this week.
Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's very sad.
It's sad but predictable, in my opinion. I think you got to blame. Well, let me back up. To be clear, there are people right now who are putting out great hip hop music. Just understand that. But mainstream media, mainstream hip hop, corporate America is to blame
For
And
everything.
It started back then in the mid 90s. What happened was, let's be honest, y'all remember before hip hop became big, there were people saying it wasn't going to do anything and it wasn't going to last. Nobody cared. And it was authentic, it was raw, it was creative. And then once corporate America saw that there was some money in it, here they come. And it took about 30 years to drain hip hop of everything that it had, its life source. You got people who are marketing and promotional majors making decisions. There's no passion, there's no love, there's none of that. And so what ended up happening is, and we've all said this about hip hop lately, everybody sounds the same, everyone's talking about the same stuff, the music, the beats don't even sound different. It's not authentic anymore. And that was the attraction in the beginning. This stuff was raw and from the streets, and you could talk about women, but then you could talk about politics, and you could talk about crime, but then you can talk about solutions. Everything right now is drugs, twerking, I'm going to take your girl, I'm going to do this to your man. And I believe people are just, they're like, yo, there's nothing to offer. There's nothing to offer. And then we live in a time where it is kind of serious. I'm not saying other times weren't serious, but we're in a time where it seems different. And people want something different. They want to either be happy, dance, or they want to be informed. And hip hop gives you nothing. It's just
So
the
explain to
same
me
old
how
stuff.
that is corporate America.
Because corporate America came in and took out everything that was authentic about it and said, we're going to get the money. Put it like this. I remember when I did live in Atlanta and I worked in the industry. I worked for a subsidiary to Universal. People were creating phenomenal music, and the labels would say, that's great, but I need something that sounds like Snap because that's what's hot right now. They didn't care about the culture. They didn't care about the passion. They didn't care about the people behind the movement and behind the music. It was, what can we do to make money right now? And if that meant watering it down, then so be it. And it just kept going and going and going. And now it's just diluted to nothing.
And do you feel that artists follow the money, and that's part of it?
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand the distinction, because it's not corporate America that's determining what's on Billboard. It's what people are listening to. So
because Billboard's based on, just so we can throw this out, it's based on like sales, radio play, streams, airplay, stuff like that.
So if there's a lack of what we think is good, then I wouldn't blame corporate. I would blame the artist and the lack of creativity.
This is why I said in the beginning, there are artists putting out great music. Corporate America, big business America doesn't get behind those artists. There are artists who are taught.
We don't need them, though.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
We do, and that's
why
why
get things pushed out more.
Back in the day, yes, 100%. Now, I think people are, and I do agree with you to a point, because I do think that, as far as like things we see on TV and like advertisements and stuff like that, 100%. But like, I think that most people are finding their music now on their own, where back in the day it was more force-fed from corporate America.
You feel like
it's not like
but
that.
if you do it real quick, if you just look up like who owns Spotify, the music industry has its hands in things that we don't even realize, and they push who they want to push. Honestly, it's kind of what the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake thing, I know that was a one-on-one thing and against each other, but underneath all that, it was a conversation about the industry and what's going on right now. People were saying Drake he's the face of commercial hip hop who they would get behind and push, and he could do whatever he want. And Kendrick was considered on the opposite side, who they kind of want to snuff out. You really don't want music like that. And that's where the line was drawn. I'm telling y'all, I promise you, they came in and drained hip hop of all its authenticity, and it's gone now. And that was the draw.
I'm not arguing with what you're saying, but I do have kind of 2 points to make. One, you can also make the argument from what you're saying that hip hop wouldn't be as big as it was if it wasn't for corporate America jumping and grabbing it too. You know what I'm saying?
There was a balance. I would say late 90s, mid to late 90s, I would argue the balance was pretty good. You saw money starting to come in, but you were still getting good quality work. Yeah. And then early 2000s, maybe a little bit after 50 Cent, once Snap Music, to me, that's when you were like, wait a minute, what's going on?
What's Snap Music?
Like Lean With It, rock, just everything.
Oh, yeah. The
quality it dropped.
Okay.
And people have a problem with, let's say, gatekeepers and stuff like that. To me, I look at gatekeepers as like the same way I look at maybe like a coach or a manager or a program director or something like that. No one said, hey, I get that, that's cool, but it took over hip hop. And then all the regions, the Northeast sounded different than the South sounded different than the West. Then all of a sudden, everyone started sounding the same. Yeah. And the originality was gone. And record labels have the power to say, do something different. Let's be creative. No. Oh, he's hitting, so we want something that sounds just like that.
Well, they want the instant hit. Okay, my second point is there used to be a term called jump the shark that basically it means like the point where something kind of like started getting shitty. Like it was really good. It built up, and then it kind of like fell off the cliff. And that was the turning point of making it crappy. So one thing with hip hop, which is weird, which, I mean, you have it with other genres of music like punk rock and stuff like that, where it's this thing where you embrace it and you almost love the fact that not everybody's into it. Yep. And you kind of like argue with people to get into it. But then when a lot of people start getting into it, it takes away from your love of it, which is weird. I never understood that. So as much as Kendrick performing at the Super Bowl halftime show was a milestone for hip hop, could that have been the jump the shark moment where it's like hip hop is now a hip hop artist that you never thought you would see at a Super Bowl halftime show, and you could always be like, man, they would never put Kendrick on. He's too cool, whatever.
Are you almost saying put him on too mainstream?
Well, that could have been the jump the shark moment.
Because a lot of people do think that when an artist becomes too mainstream, then they're not cool anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah.
No, I know.
So that's like that could have been that moment. Could have been like the part where it's like hip hop is peaked, so now it's kind of like falling off a little bit.
But don't you think now? I'll say I think there's an opportunity there for things to turn around for hip hop.
Yes,
because I think the state of the world, the state of the country, the state of communities, I think that there's a lot of frustration, and that I think, like when you think about the roots of hip hop and how it started, it was like out of like the passion of youth and wanting to say something and get it. It was like there was the fun part of it, but there was also like wanting to have a voice. And I think that people could use that now to try and, kind of have a resurgence and bring like the heart back to hip hop.
There again, I know there are artists out right now who are trying to do that, but they don't get the support. And I know that you can find music on your own, but I'm trying to
pop out.
It's not. I'm trying to tell you. For instance, part of the thing that Drake and Kendrick were going back and forth about, or more so Drake, was about bots and things like that, promoting and pushing music.
That is a problem.
Who do you think is behind that? That's stuff like, if I'm a record label and I invest in Ramiro the artist, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure Ramiro, my artist, is the biggest thing out there. You better believe I'm going to use bots and stuff. And I'm going to snuff out all these other little artists who are trying to do independent artists. Okay, yeah, you can be found, but it's like the algorithm.
Yep.
There's people on Instagram doing phenomenal things, but your algorithm is not going to allow you to see it. Mine might not allow me to see it. And who's controlling it? That's the question.
Yeah. I do think that there is some legitimacy to what you're saying. I do think that there's obvious things that are being pushed and whatever. I just don't think it's as much today as it used to be in the past. Because there's so many other ways now that people are getting their music. And like, think about streaming never used to even be a thing. And I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's just easy to blame the big corporate people when like it is. It's easy. And you know what? I do agree to some extent. I just feel like it's a cop out. I do.
See, I don't think it's a cop out because I think that there are people that are, and let's not even just talk about music. Let's just think about like just content in general. There's a lot of people who put out really good quality content.
Yes.
And it's like, unless you're buying ads or boosting or whatever. And even when you do that, it doesn't like guarantee, like certain things just get out into the atmosphere and into the social media world where they just become bigger. And I do think at the end of the day, a lot of it is the corporations.
You ever wonder how an artist can be really, really big on, let's say, social media and have a whole bunch of followers? And then you find out once they go on tour, they have to cancel it because no one's buying tickets. It's like, well, how did they become so huge on this? Oh, somebody's playing behind the scenes and pushing the numbers to support that artist they want. But in real life, folks aren't really with it. And then they can't even sell out not even an arena. They can't even sell out a House of Blues. And you're like, how did that happen?
And it's
happening over and over again.
And I think it's the same like big artists that just continue to keep being pushed out. It's like, oh, Drake's got something new out. Even if it's trash, it still like gets out there. And you know, you can't say the same for a lot of, I do think, and I think that it's always been like this, that there are always really great artists who just never get any type of push. And I mean, we're to blame too.
And I would say this, 5 years ago, I would believe what you were saying more so like, yo, you can find, it felt like there was a really true opportunity. What I'm saying is it feels like though within the last 5 years, corporations, the music business in general, they took their time to figure out how do we really control this. And now that they've got control over it, it's like, oh, hip hop's not in the top, what is it, top 40 for the first time in 30 something years or whatever. Like, how did that? But you can't, who's doing anything hot? Can anyone name anyone today doing anything hot?
My point is, I feel like there's really no quality music right now. So
that we know of.
Right. But to me, it's hard to blame the corporations when I feel that the quality right this second of hip hop is not like, at least from what I've heard, which I'll be honest with you, I listen to more pop music now, but it's just not where it should be.
But why isn't it where it should be? Like, why was it better before? There were a lot of, the artists were one thing, but the record labels played their role. We played our role. The listeners played their roles. But so what happened? Why isn't it as hard as it used to be?
I feel like there's not as much. Personally, I feel like I could sit here like 10 years ago. I could sit back and name 10 to 15 artists off the top of my head that were big and doing things and doing different things. And it was fun and it was just a great time. Now, if you sit here and ask me to name 10, 15 hip hop artists off the top of my head, I couldn't do it. I'm talking about that are making music right now that are like charting and are very successful.
It goes back to what you were saying when you said it was diluted. But I look at it in a positive way because this just means that it's gonna start growing again. Hopefully, all it takes
maybe
is
this is the
all
bottom.
it takes is one person to go out there and say, "I'm gonna do something different," and then stick with it. But what happens usually with that is that'll start hitting, and someone else will go, "Yeah, I'm gonna do something like that." It's like movies. That's just a trend in every form of entertainment.
I hope you're right. DDG recently said he makes more money streaming than he did in music. And when I heard that, to me, and I could be wrong because I don't know him, I said, "Oh, so he never really loved making music.
He loved making money.
It was about making money." So what I'm hoping is that the ones who are getting any attention but aren't really in it for the right reasons, they move on to something else. Maybe it's streaming, and then it opens up the door for people who are passionate about music, regardless of making money or not, that they get into it. They're probably going to have to start from the bottom again. They're going to probably have to start building up. But my thing has always been, but who gave those artists who didn't love the music the opportunity? Why did they give it? Oh, they look a certain way. They can sell it. They can push it. They can connect them to all different types of stuff. And the music wasn't even secondary. It was way down the list of importance to a music artist. No one cared.
Yeah,
and that's where I have a problem.
There's not many, who was somebody who was like, they said he was Prince.
Yeah.
They used to say Prince was all pain in the ass because he was, I want to make my own music. I don't want anyone to fuck with it. I want the ownership rights. Do you know that one of the biggest reasons that he, you weren't in here when I played you him. There's a big YouTube video of him at a Hall of Fame ceremony playing. He did a guitar solo that they say is the greatest guitar solo of all time.
Yeah.
And it's because, this is like from like 2004, but it's because Rolling Stone did a list of the 100 best guitar players. Prince wasn't on that list. And he was like, how am I not on this list? And it's because at the time, everyone was like, oh, Prince is like a pop artist. So they had this tribute to the Beatles. I'll find you the video. The solo is amazing. So they have this tribute to the Beatles. They have all these guys, like I think Tom Petty, like all these dudes. They had a couple of the Beatles' sons playing a song. Prince comes out in the middle of a song, does a solo to the point where the dude who was singing looked at him and was like, keep fucking going. Prince fucking kills it. After that, they put out a list and they were like, one of the top guitarists once again. He did it because he was like mad, but he almost didn't do it even though he was mad because he goes, I want ownership of this when it's all said and done. So anyway, like my point is, I think a lot of artists right now are just like, yeah, I'll sign, as opposed to kind of just because of the check. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to saying like, no, hold on. Maybe I'll wait a little bit, do it on my own so I can have a little more autonomy with what I want to do. At the end of the day, it's people negotiating with people,
I just feel like there's a Prince artist out there right now who's playing a solo on his Instagram and has 1,000 followers, and someone in the music industry has seen it and said and skipped over it, but then they found someone who's playing a ukulele and terribly, but because they have 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, they offer that person a record deal, and we've seen it. Leangelo Ball, one of the Ball brothers?
Yeah.
He came up with one song that went viral, and he got a record deal
because
from
he
it.
was the basketball playing son of the loudmouth who got his leg chopped off.
But think about the longevity of those people. The truth will always come out. If they're fake and they're not talented, it's not going to work.
But what I'm saying is hip hop is full of those people, and the people that make the decision to put those people on need to be held accountable for how it's falling off. It's just the music doesn't matter to them anymore, and that's sad.
I think they do get held accountable. We just don't see it. I think that people are losing jobs, and I think that people, when they go out on a limb and say, "Hey, let's give this guy some shine, 'cause he's got 1 million followers, but he's got no talent," I feel like.
But you know why they don't pivot? Because they don't love it to begin with. They don't know what to do. These are money, marketing, and promotion people in positions of power to tell artists what they should do. They shouldn't be in those positions. And so even though things are falling apart, you think, all right, well, they're going to sit at a table and they're going to pivot and make the right decision. They don't know what to do.
And that's in like a lot of jobs in a lot of areas of corporate America where, the people who are working under they know more than those people, and they're just, do this, do that, and it's like crap.
Yeah, well, at the end of again, it's people being people, and some people go to work and they're just like, I want to get my boss the biggest bang for the buck quickest.
Yep.
You know, just to get that raise, that promotion, that commission, versus someone else who's going to be like, oh, I really have a passion for this. I'm going to go and freaking find the diamond in the rough or whatever, you know? Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and whatever you feel about this, please let us know in the comments below.